Benny the bunny wasn't your average bunny. He was a bunny with a heart full of curiosity and a mind brimming with dreams. Oh no, not at all. Benny loved adventures. He dreamt of them. Every night as he snuggled into his cozy burrow, his mind would wander to far-off places and thrilling escapades. He thought about them all day long. Whether he was munching on a carrot or playing with his friends, his thoughts were always on the next big adventure. He couldn't wait to hop out of his burrow every morning and see what the day would bring. The world outside was a vast playground, full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. One sunny morning, Benny woke up with a twitch of his nose and a wiggle of his whiskers. The sun was shining brightly, and the birds were singing a cheerful tune. He just knew, today was going to be an adventure day. His little heart raced with excitement as he imagined all the possibilities. He hopped out of bed and gobbled down his breakfast of juicy carrots. Each bite seemed to fuel his excitement even more. "Benny, Mama, I'm off to find an adventure!" he exclaimed with a twinkle in his eye. Benny shouted, his ears perked up with excitement. He could hardly contain his enthusiasm as he imagined the adventures that awaited him. "Mama Bunny, all right, Benny, just be careful and don't talk to strangers," she called out, her voice filled with both love and concern. Benny nodded eagerly, ready to take on the world. Benny hopped through the meadow, his eyes wide with wonder. The flowers were in full bloom and the air was filled with the sweet scent of spring. As he ventured further, he met a friendly squirrel named Sammy. Sammy was busy collecting acorns, but paused to chat with Benny. They shared stories of their adventures, laughing and bonding over their love for exploration. Sammy even gave Benny a shiny acorn as a token of their new friendship. With the acorn safely tucked away, Benny continued his journey. He felt more determined than ever to discover something truly amazing. Suddenly, he stumbled upon a hidden path that led deep into the forest. His heart pounded with excitement as he wondered what secrets the forest held. Benny ventured into the forest, his senses heightened by the sounds and sights around him. The trees towered above, and the forest floor was a carpet of leaves and flowers. As he explored, he discovered a hidden treasure chest buried beneath an old oak tree. With a triumphant smile, Benny opened the chest to find it filled with glittering jewels and ancient coins. Benny couldn't wait to share his discovery with Mama Bunny. He hurried back home, his heart swelling with pride and excitement. Mama Bunny was overjoyed to see Benny return safely. She hugged him tightly, and they celebrated this big adventure together, knowing that this was just the beginning of many more to come. Benny hopped and skipped through the forest, his nose twitching, sniffing for adventure. Suddenly he stopped. He heard a tiny voice, Carl the Carrot. "Psst! Hey you! Over here!" Benny hopped towards the voice. He couldn't believe his eyes. A carrot was talking to him. "Benny, did you just talk? Carl the Carrot?" "Of course I talked. I'm Carl the Carrot, and I need your help." Carl the Carrot looked worried. Benny had never met a talking carrot before. This was definitely an adventure. Benny gasped. Freddy the Fox was notorious for his love of carrot cake and for his mischievous pranks. This was serious. "Benny, don't worry, Carl, I'll help you," Benny declared bravely. He might have been a small bunny, but he had a big heart. Benny knew just what to do. He had to outsmart Freddy the Fox. Benny followed Carl's directions, hopping deeper and deeper into the forest. The trees grew denser, and the path became more winding. Benny's heart raced with excitement and a bit of nervousness. He knew they were getting closer to Freddy's den. The forest was alive with the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves, adding to the sense of adventure. Soon they reached Freddy's den, a small, cozy nook hidden among the thick foliage. It was a mess. There were carrot tops scattered everywhere. It looked like Freddy had been on a carrot binge. The den was cluttered with bits of vegetables, and the smell of freshly baked goods wafted through the air. Benny wrinkled his nose at the sight, but knew he had to stay focused on their mission. Benny peeked inside. Freddy was humming a happy tune, mixing a bowl of batter. The fox seemed completely absorbed in his baking, unaware of the approaching visitors. Benny watched as Freddy expertly mixed the ingredients, his tail swishing back and forth in rhythm with his humming. Freddy the Fox, almost ready. Freddy's voice was cheerful and full of anticipation. He licked his lips, clearly looking forward to whatever delicious treat he was preparing. Freddy chuckled, licking his lips. He seemed so content and carefree, completely unaware of the surprise that was about to unfold. "Benny! Not so fast, Freddy!" Benny's voice rang out loud and clear, breaking the peaceful atmosphere of the den. He stepped forward, his eyes fixed on the fox. Benny shouted, bursting into the den. Freddy jumped, startled. The bowl of batter nearly slipped from his paws as he turned to face the unexpected intruder. Freddy the fox. Benny the bunny, what are you doing here? Freddy's eyes widened in surprise and confusion. He had not expected any visitors, especially not Benny. Freddy asked, trying to hide the bowl of batter behind his back. His movements were quick and a bit clumsy, betraying his nervousness. Benny, we're here for Carl's friends. Benny's voice was firm and determined. He took a step closer to Freddy, making it clear that he meant business. The atmosphere in the den grew tense as the two animals faced each other, the air thick with unspoken words and the promise of a confrontation.
You'll never find them in this big forest.
Freddy just laughed, pointing towards the woods. Benny and Carl ran outside. Freddy was right. The forest was huge and confusing. They were lost. Carl asked, his voice trembling. S2, now what?
Don't worry, Carl. We'll find your friends.
Benny took a deep breath, trying to sound brave. Just then they heard a gentle voice.
Can I help you?
A fluffy squirrel peeked down from a tree.
I'm Shirley, she said with a smile. I saw what happened with Freddy. I can help you find your friends. Follow me.
Shirley led them through a maze of trees and bushes. She knew the forest like the back of her paw.
Freddy always takes a shortcut through the Whispering Woods, Shirley explained. We can catch him if we hurry.
Benny and Carl followed closely behind, their hopes rising. They reached a clearing. There was Freddy just ahead of them, dragging a sack behind him. But something wasn't right. The sack wasn't moving. Hold it right there, Freddy! Benny shouted. Freddy stopped and turned around. He didn't look scared at all. He actually looked relieved. Thank goodness you're here! Freddy exclaimed. This isn't what it looks like! He opened the sack. It was empty. There were never any carrots in there, Freddy explained. Freddy, the clever and kind-hearted fox, had always been misunderstood by his friends. They often thought he was up to no good, but in reality, he was just trying to help his family. Freddy had a special bond with his mama, and he would do anything to make her happy. I was just collecting these for my mama. Freddy's voice was filled with sincerity as he held up the carrots. His friends, Benny the bear, Carl the rabbit, and Shirley the squirrel, watched him with wide eyes. They had always assumed Freddy was sneaky, but now they saw a different side of him. She loves making carrot top tea, Freddy continued, his eyes sparkling with love for his mother. He described how his mama would brew the tea, filling their home with a warm, comforting aroma. It was a tradition they cherished, a moment of peace in their busy lives. Freddy pulled out a handful of fresh green carrot tops from the sack. The vibrant green tops were a testament to his dedication. He had spent hours searching for the best carrots, not for himself, but for his beloved mama. His friends began to realize how much they had misjudged him. Benny, Carl, and Shirley looked at each other. They had misjudged Freddy. They felt a pang of guilt for doubting their friend. They had always seen him as a trickster, but now they understood his true nature. Freddy was not just a fox. He was a devoted son and a loyal friend. He wasn't making carrot cake at all. Freddy's smile was genuine, and his friends could see the honesty in his eyes. He had no hidden agenda, no tricks up his sleeve. He was simply trying to bring joy to his mama's life. He was just being a good son. Freddy's friends felt a wave of warmth and admiration for him. They realized that they had been too quick to judge, and they vowed to be more understanding in the future.
We're so sorry, Freddy, Benny apologized. We thought... Benny's voice trailed off, filled with regret. He had always been the leader of their group, and he felt responsible for their misunderstanding. He wanted to make things right.
It's okay, Freddy chuckled. It's easy to mistake me for a mischievous fox. Freddy's laughter was infectious, and soon his friends were laughing too. They realized that they had been too quick to judge, and they promised to be more open-minded in the future. But I promise I would never hurt Carl or his friends. Freddy's words were filled with sincerity. He valued his friends and would never do anything to harm them. His friends felt a sense of relief and happiness, knowing that they had a true friend in Freddy.
And so, what started as a misunderstanding turned into a beautiful friendship. The bond between Freddy, Benny, Carl, and Shirley grew stronger. They learned to trust and understand each other, and their adventures became even more exciting. They realized that true friendship is built on trust, understanding, and love. And from that day on, they were not just friends. They were family. Benny learned that day that things aren't always what they seem. He also learned the importance of asking questions before jumping to conclusions. From that day on, Benny, Carl, Freddy, and Shirley became the best of friends. They went on many more adventures together, always looking out for each other and always ready to lend a helping paw. Or carrot. The end? Or just the beginning? Who knows what other adventures await our furry friends?